to The Update. I'm Michelle Stevenson. There were no new cases of COVID-19 diagnosed in Perth today after a hotel quarantine worker had contracted the virus. 66 people have been identified as close contacts and are now being tested, while confirmation that the security guard has the highly contagious UK strain. Anyone who visited the 17 venues listed on the government website is being urged to get tested. The PM, meantime, says he does understand why WA took the drastic action it did following its first locally transmitted COVID case in 10 months. Perth and the surrounding regions are currently in that 5-day lockdown. Scott Morrison says WA is managing the situation.
The extent of the geographic area covered there matters for the Premier, but the idea that you give your contract tracers a fighting chance, I think, is sound.
While the Police Commissioner Chris Dawson in WA admits that the state's hotel quarantine system needs some work and a review is underway.
It's clearly not perfect. I mean, we're dealing with a global pandemic, so we are adapting to the environment and the threat that we're facing.
Queensland and South Australia have imposed their border restrictions on WA. Anyone arriving in the state from the metro area, Peel or southwest regions has to go into mandatory hotel quarantine for at least 14 days. The military has confirmed that they've staged a coup in Myanmar, placing elected leader Aung San Suu Kyi and other government leaders under house arrest. The military has appointed its own president, and it says it will maintain total control for the next year. Well, almost half of all political donations made last year actually came from just 5 donors, it's been revealed. Clive Palmer's Mineralogy was the biggest donor of them, giving almost $6 million to his own party. And a study shows men are given more financial autonomy when they're in their teens and early 20s. Taking a look at sport now, Collingwood says they will commit to the 18 recommendations handed down in a report into racism at the club. Club president Eddie Maguire, though, is holding firm on stepping down from the role, saying he won't step down until the end of the season. And Cricket Australia is pushing to play the BBL final in front of a crowd of 36,000 at the SCG. The Sydney Sixers will host either Brisbane or the Perth, who meet in Thursday on Canberra. Taking a look at your entertainment news. Now, The Weeknd is apparently all in for this year's Super Bowl. The singer says he's set to put in $7 million of his own cash, and that's after Pepsi announced they were scaling back sponsorship. And speaking of Super Bowl, well, Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher have apparently jumped at the opportunity to shoot a Super Bowl commercial together because they needed some parental freedom. The pair are keen to take some time away from their children. And Eva Mendes has slapped down any rumours suggesting plastic surgery is the reason behind her social media break. The actress has been telling fans that she instead wanted to be more present with her daughters, the 2 daughters she shares with Ryan Gosling. Now, that is the latest from the Nova Podcast News team. We'll see you tomorrow morning for another episode of The Update.